figuring some technical. All right, so thank you all for joining us today. Once again, this is the Claim Your Credits session. It's an info session with Assemblymember Steve Bennett, my boss, as well as with GSO, Golden State Opportunity. So thank you all for joining us today. And just for the very first announcement, this is really, really important. We are offering Spanish translation today. This is a really, really great resource. So I'm actually going to invite Xiomara, who's our Spanish translator, to translate to folks that we have how to access that Spanish translation. It should be a globe on the bottom of your screen. So Xiomara, if you'd like to translate that there's a globe on the bottom of the screen that folks can click to access that Spanish translation during this presentation.
Thank you, Atticus. Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Xiomara. Yo seré la intérprete suya en esta tarde. Para guiarlos, les voy a explicar brevemente que arriba de su pantalla o abajo, si tienen ustedes un teléfono celular, encontrarán 3 puntos suspensivos luego del micrófono y la camarita. Van a oprimir ahí y encontrarán un globo. Al oprimir ese globo se abrirá una parte en la pantalla abajo donde verán la palabra español o Spanish. Al oprimir ahí van a caer en el área donde van a escuchar toda la interpretación al idioma español. Buenas tardes.
Thank you, Xiomara. Really appreciate that. And that's also a reminder to our speakers that since we have a live interpreter, if you could please pace yourself and give Xiomara that time to translate accordingly. So second, this presentation will be recorded. So please feel free to ask questions in the chat box during the presentation. We will also have a Q&A portion right after Sabrina's presentation. So that will be the format: opening remarks, presentation by Sabrina, and then a live question and answer portion where we also have some questions that folks also sent in before. And then lastly, after the event, we will be sending out a survey to see if the presentation was helpful for you all. So if you could please fill out that survey after the event and let us know what you all thought. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce my boss, Assemblymember Steve Bennett, who represents the 37th Assembly District. Take it away, Assemblymember.
Hey, thank you very much, Atticus. And we're having some technical difficulties, so I hope Atticus will let me know if I'm coming across okay. How about a thumbs up? Can you hear me okay? I'm still seeing you and not me on the screen, but that's probably better for everybody to get to look at a good looking young guy instead of an old gray haired guy like me. But for everybody that did take the time to jump on this, well, now I'm looking at nothing, right? So better, but anyway, we'll see what we get. Oh, hey, I'm on. There we go. Great. But for everybody that took the time to join us this evening, I want to say thank you. It gives us an opportunity to connect with you. Also, us an opportunity to help you with something that we think is really important that a lot of people miss, and that is the income tax credit, making sure that you're getting able to take advantage of that. And I guess it has a particular meaning for me. We've raised in our house 3 kids from when they were, in early elementary school. They're now in their 20s. And I have to admit that I was an economics teacher and everything else, but they're not as economically literate as I think they should be by a long shot. And I attribute part of that to the fact that there's just so much information out there. I think back when I was growing up, it was not as complicated. It was easy to know where you're supposed to put your money, when you were supposed to file your taxes. I could file my own taxes for a long time without any help. And it's become more and more challenging. So the earned income tax credit is something that's really valuable. And I really appreciate the organization that is helping us tonight with this, the Golden State Stimulus group. It's a nonprofit group. They do a great job And I'm really pleased to be able to bring them to you this evening. I'm not going to speak any longer than that because we got a late start because we had a technical problem. I'm afraid we lost some people there. I hope that they get back on in the interim. We had a lot of people sign up for this. Not as many of them were on when I was getting ready to start to speak. So hopefully we can catch everybody back up. And then these people are real professionals. They will be able to answer your questions, and my staff will be able to take your name and information if you have further questions, things that my office can help you with. So one of the things we want to emphasize is to be there for constituent services for you. And that's exactly what tonight is, but it's not just tonight. Anytime that my office can help you, please don't hesitate to contact us. And I hope you're all doing well and that this is a profitable evening for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bennett, for those words. So next, I would like to introduce our speaker who will be presenting on these incredible tax credits and everything and all that we're so excited to learn about. And so I'm going to introduce Sabrina De Santiago, Policy Director at Golden State Opportunity, also known as GSO. And lastly, I should just add, GSO is a nonprofit organization dedicated to ending poverty and has been a leader on CalITC, that's the Earned Income Tax Credit outreach. So Sabrina, whenever you're ready, take it a go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. If I get a little unstable,
Sabrina, I think we lost you there. Are you still there? Apologies to everyone. I know we're still trying to work through these technical issues. So just give us a moment here. We'll try to see if Sabrina can reestablish the connection here. Sabrina, are you still there?
She is coming back on right
Okay.
now. Okay. In the meantime, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see it. So that's great. And apologies to everyone. Sorry about that. You know, we're still trying to work out the technical difficulties, but we'll be back shortly.
and I was able. Hi, I can.
Sabrina, are you there?
I am. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you. Can folks hear Sabrina now in the chat? Awesome. Thank you, Tracy,
Perfect.
for letting
Thank
us know.
Appreciate that. Oh, technology, when it rains, it pours. Thanks everybody for the patience. But let's just get right into the material. So today we're going to learn about how to claim your credits. And as mentioned, GSO, we're just an organization who's trying to get you more money so that you can do all the things you need to do to get ahead. And today we're going to learn about who qualifies for the CalITC, the EITC, and other credits, how to estimate your credits, how to claim your credits, and where to get help filing your taxes for free, because that's something you shouldn't pay for. Next slide. Thanks. So how does a tax credit work? Folks throw around a lot of terms during the tax season, and I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. A tax credit is a reduction in the amount of taxes you owe. And some tax credits are refundable, which means if you owe zero, these tax credits make up your refund. And here's an example. So let's say you owed $350 on your taxes, and then you qualified for the $1,000 young child tax credit. Well, you would get $650 back because the young child tax credit is a refundable tax credit. And why is this important? It's something that you all know instinctively. It is because families who get the EITC have done better in life. And it's not brain science. It's not brain surgery or rocket science. If you have more money, it's going to be easier to do things like get better health care, support your children in school, and have your children grow off to school. Next slide. Next slide, please. And so there is a CalITC, and that's California based, and there's one that's federal. Let's talk about the federal credit. So the federal credit has some requirements. You need to be a taxpayer with a social security number, and your qualifying children must also have a social security number. I've lived in the United States for more than half a year. I raised that as
Sabrina, I'm sorry, but Sabrina,
during the pandemic.
Sabrina, sorry, I think there's still a problem with the connections. I'm not sure if maybe turning off your camera can help with that. I don't know, but I think you're still a little unstable here.
Here we go. Let's see if this makes it a little better. Okay. So please, thanks for letting me know in the chat. Keep letting me know. I appreciate it. And so you need to have been a resident, like I said, or lived in the United States for more than half the year. You should be a US citizen or resident in the year. I mentioned this one because sometimes folks have adjusted their immigration status. To qualify for the credits, you have to have been a resident for the full year during that past tax year. So we're talking about 2021 here. Then you need to be 19 and older or 18 and older with children and have earned within the income limits. Of course, the next question is, what are the income limits? And here they are. And we'll be sharing this presentation with everybody, so don't feel like you've got to take notes. But so you can see that for someone who is has no children, their maximum that they could have earned is $27,380. And that's if you're married filing jointly. If you're a single person filing by yourself, $21,430. And for a family that has up to 3 kids, married filing jointly, that's $57,414. So if you earned less than this, you're going to qualify for some part of the EITC. And now, how much can you get? This is the big question, right? So this year is different. This year, even folks who have no qualifying children, so you're a single person filing by yourself, you can get up to $1,500 this year. Usually it's about $500. And for children, and for families with 3 or more children, you can get up to $6,728. That figure always floors me because that is a lot of money. And I know that families have a need for it. Next slide, please. So who qualifies for the CalITC? That's the California credit. You're going to see that there are fewer requirements here. And that is true. This is a credit that applies to lots more folks. You need to have earned less than $30,000 a year, regardless of your dependents. You need to have lived in California for more than half the year, and you need to be over 18. You'll notice here, I didn't say anything about your immigration status because that's not important here. If you are a worker who files your taxes with an ITIN number or a social security number in California, you can qualify for the CalITC. And then how much can you get? This is a smaller credit, but again, more people qualify for it. So if you're a single person, who has no children, you can get up to $255 this year. And if you are a family with up to 3 children, you can get $3,160. And I also want to mention the Young Child Tax Credit. That's the credit I mentioned at the beginning of this call. That is $1,000 for any family that has a child under the age of 6. It's just one credit for the entire, for no matter, if let's say you had 3 kids under the age of 6. First, good luck. Thank you for your service. I have a 2-year-old, so I don't know how you do it if you've got multiples under 6, but you would still only be eligible for the one payment of $1,000. Next slide, please. And so there's also the federal child tax credit. Folks may have heard a lot about this throughout the year. These were those monthly payments that were going out from July onward. It's on hiatus right now. We're working hard, GSO is working hard to see if we can bring that back because we know it made a difference. But the increased amounts are still available. So this year, if you had a child who was under 6 for a federal tax credit, you can get up to $3,600. And if you have a child between the ages of 6 and 17, you can get $3,000. So even if you got your, I want to point this out, even if you got your monthly child tax credit payments from the IRS, you can still claim more money at tax time because those IRS payments were only half of the amount. So that's another $1,800 if your kid's under 6 or $1,500 per child. Let me say that again, per child, if when you file your taxes. And I want to highlight again that there's an expanded access. So if you don't have a Social Security, no problem. For those California credits, you do qualify. You may also qualify for some of the federal credits. Now, this is a little bit tricky, but if you are a parent with an ITIN and your child has a Social Security number, you can qualify for the child tax credit. And that is because that is a benefit to the citizen child. And so it is for their support. But so if you have a mixed status family, don't assume that you don't qualify for that federal CTC because there could be some money in there for you. And I mentioned this, but it bears repeating, $1,502 for this federal EITC. That's 3 times the usual amount, and I hope everybody will claim it. I don't want to see a single penny left in the treasury that should have gone out. So what do you have to do to get these credits? You've got to file your taxes. There's no way around it, but we are here to help and to make it easier. So our website, CalITCforme.org, has a lot of information. It's going to help you estimate your tax credits and find tax preparation help. And a lot of this content and questions, if you want to go back and visit it, our website has that for you 24/7. It's also available in many languages. It's available, the entire website is available right now in English, Spanish, and simplified Chinese. Other languages coming online include Tagalog, Vietnamese, Korean, Farsi, Arabic. Oh, I'm going to miss like another 5 because it's a total of 13 languages that we have materials on our website. So if there is something that you want to pass along to someone in your community, please visit. And if it's in a language we don't have, please email me because I want to know how we can get your help. So as I mentioned, there's a calculator on our website and it'll help you figure out just how much you could qualify for your young child tax credit, your federal child tax credit, your state CalITC, and your federal EITC. I don't know about you all, but I love seeing what those numbers could be. It really motivates me to get all my paperwork together and file my taxes, especially as I start daydreaming about what I'm going to do with it. And then how do you file your taxes, right? I keep saying that, but that's the only way to get it. Well, we have ways to help you file for free with someone who is certified by the IRS to know what they're doing. So there's 3 kinds of help that are on our website. There's File on Your Own with FreeFile, and that is the IRS program. Those are for folks who are making in the mid-70s, and they the website there, I like to tell people it's about as hard to use as maybe setting up your gas bill or your electric bill through a website. You know, it's a little older, it's a little clunkier, but if you have all your paperwork and a little bit of patience, you get through it. The other types of help that we have available is a program called Get Your Refund. And you can get help online from somebody who is IRS trained again. And this is like a virtual VITA site. Now, a VITA site is a program of volunteers who are, again, trained by the IRS, who help you do your taxes for free. They are volunteering their services to make sure you can file for free and keep more of your hard-earned dollars. And on our website, there is a link. I'm going to show that in a minute, but it's pretty easy. You just upload your information. You can use it from your phone. It's optimized to be used on your phone, so it's not, you know, half of page showing up, and that makes it easier to upload your documents. Then a live person reviews your taxes and then gets back to you with information, sets up either a call or via email so that you can file your taxes. This is very much like going to a paid preparer, but it's all online and it's for free. Then the last option is our network of, it's a growing, but it's our network of in-person and drop-off and online services. So these are groups in your community, folks you already know, who also do tax filing services. Now, you may not know about it because, you know, they don't always do it year round, and it's the volunteer program through VITA, but we have listings there and we can connect you with folks. So if you prefer to talk to someone one-on-one, maybe you're not as comfortable online, visit our website, CalITC for me, and go to the Find In-Person Help. Next slide, please. So coming back to Get Your Refund, I want to share that one of my favorite features about it is that you can ask a personalized question. Even if you're ready to file your taxes some other way, and you still have like this thing that you're just like not quite sure about, and helping you get sure is going to be that last push that gets you across the finish line to filing your taxes, this is it. So you can file, you can ask questions here, and they will get back to you. Again, an expert in taxes will come back to you and answer your question individually. As I mentioned, you could also file for free. And that's just a little snapshot of what the website looks like. I want you to know what you're heading into when you click those links. Of course, a little bit of a pitch for us. CalITCforme.org is our website. So if you want to follow us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, get our email updates, we have some of the latest and greatest information on what's happening with taxes. So we welcome you joining our network. And we'll turn it over to questions.
Great. Thank you, Sabrina, once again. I learned a lot. I really appreciate that. I can only imagine what everyone else is learning too. So we're going to shift now to the questions and answer portion. These are some questions that were submitted from some folks earlier. Once again, when you RSVP'd, it had a question box. So these are folks that just submitted it that way. So the very first question, Sabrina, is this. I am the head of household with 3 school-age kids. How do I navigate and maximize my credits for tax 2021?
That's a great question. And I'm going to leave my camera off just to keep the connection more stable. Thanks everybody for understanding. The best way I would recommend is to go to if you're comfortable doing in person right now, you know, I know everybody's situation is a little bit different, but if not in person, VITA on one of our websites to connect you, then I would say to Get Your Refund. Those folks are so helpful. And it really is like having almost a caseworker by your side. And these are people who are dedicated to helping you get as much money back. And it's actually been proven out that if you are getting your taxes done by a VITA volunteer, your refund is bigger than if you went to a paid tax preparer.
Great. Thank you, Sabrina. The next question is, for the child tax credit, can I claim my child if my ex received the child credit during the pandemic?
So custody issues are some of the toughest pieces for the child tax credit. If the child is the tax credit should follow the person who has custody of the child. And so if the child is living with you now, then you should be the person receiving the credits. There's also an opportunity during your filing of your taxes to square away any payments you should have gotten that you didn't. So you can, if you're working with a VITA preparer, they can help you fill out the form that will get you any back money that perhaps should have gone to you if you had custody of the children while somebody else was getting those payments. So there might actually be even more money that you can claim.
Great. Then the next question here we have from someone, where can I get help for free?
CalITC, thank you for asking. Thank you. CalITCforme.org. It's got a ton of resources there that can help connect you with whatever free tax preparation is most comfortable for you.
Great. And then what if I file with an I-10? Am I eligible?
Yes, so you are eligible for the California credits. So that's the CalITC and the Young Child Tax Credit. And you may also be eligible if you're a parent of a child with a Social Security number for the child tax credit.
Great. And then I think you touched on some of these in the presentation, but we'll just ask them again so that way folks can really
Absolutely.
get that answer. Is how much can I get back?
Well, it all depends on the size of your family, how much you earned, and how much you paid in taxes. But generally, we're talking about hundreds for and up to thousands for a single person. Most families with a couple of children are going to be eligible for a couple $1,000s. But again, it depends on how much you earned, how much you paid, and how big your family is.
Great. And then here we go. Is there help available in person? Once again, I think you offered that, but if you can touch on that once again.
Absolutely. So not only do we have on our website a network of folks who are doing in-person tax services, I'm also going to put a pitch out there for one of our partners in this space, and that's United Way. The United Ways across the state do a lot of work with tax preparation. And so if that is someone you have a relationship with, and you feel comfortable going to them, that's also a great resource. So our website, CalITC for me, has some in-person help. But if you've got a relationship with one of your local United Ways, they may also be able to help you.
Great. And then I think we just have two more questions, as in these are the ones that were submitted for the registration. And I hope, Sabrina, if you have time, we also have some questions that are popping up in the chat too at this moment that we can go to those.
I'm here as long as folks want to ask questions.
Great. Awesome. So here we go. Can I get help over the phone or internet? I can't drive to an appointment.
Absolutely. Our Get Your Refund site that's on CalITC for me. They have a way for you to just upload all your documents, and then someone can call you to walk through your taxes or schedule a Zoom or a video call. So if you don't have reliable transportation or childcare is an issue, this is a great option so that you don't have to leave home.
Awesome. And then last question before we go over to the chat box to answer those is there help available in Spanish?
Yes. So most VITA sites will have somebody who can serve you in Spanish. And if not, with a little bit of advance notice, they can have somebody who speaks Spanish there to help. And of course, they're all the people who they bring in who either speak Spanish on staff, or if they have to bring in an interpreter for Spanish or any other language. I want to reiterate to folks that is confidential information. And so you don't have to worry that sharing information about your personal finances is going to get out there just because there's an interpreter involved.
Great. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Now we'll go over, we have two questions in the chat, and also a reminder to anyone watching, if you have a question, don't hesitate to tap it in the chat so we can have Sabrina try to answer it. So the first question, Sabrina, is from Catherine. And Catherine asks about earned income as a retiree. Do investment benefits count?
So no, and there is a cap on your investment income for both the state and for the federal EITC. The state EITC is in the ballpark of $4,100, and the federal is about $10,000. But I think a lot of times people forget that they have earned income. So you only have to have $1 to qualify. And did you babysit for a neighbor? Did you pet sit for a neighbor? Did you pick up a shift at Target or two over the holidays, or you drove Uber a couple of days during the year? That is all earned income, and that can help you qualify for these credits. So I think a lot of times gig workers also forget that those, even if you tried it and it wasn't for you, that still counts to help you get your credits.
Great. Thank you so much, Sabrina. And then the last question we see here on the chat is from Pat. And Pat asks, What about situations where child custody is divided equally 50-50?
So this is a toughie. Pat, I would love to follow up with you individually because it does vary a lot in terms of custody cases. So I'm sharing my email with everybody, but I'll put it in the chat right now. It's sabrina@goldenstateopportunity.org. But let me answer a little bit in some generality so people have an idea. Usually with tax credits that are split, it's something you would have to address in your divorce decree. Or if there is, sometimes the custody is split 50-50, but the child resides more with one person, so it could be different than what's on paper, what they're actually living, right? So the credit should follow the child. And I think in that kind of case, it really does make sense to go to one of the VITA volunteers and have them help you dig through. We're seeing a lot of these kinds of cases this year. And it's something, unfortunately, that the VITA sites have gotten a lot of expertise in. So they'll be super ready when they get this question, and they'll have all the forms handy to make sure that the money is getting to the person who is caring for the child, because that's the important part.
Great. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Now, I don't see any other questions, but if there's anything else you would like to finish up with before we close, we really appreciate your expertise, especially with those tricky situations like custody. Those are very, very dependent. So we really appreciate your expertise on that. But I don't see any more questions. So if you'd like to, finish up, Sabrina, before we close, please go ahead.
Sure. I just want to thank everybody. And I know I've said it a million times, but I'll say it again, especially for those folks who join us afterwards and watch the recording. Visit our website, file your taxes, and don't pay to file your taxes. There's, if you are low income, every dollar counts. And you know that all better than I do. So make your dollar stretch, get something for free that your government is giving you at a top level of service. That's not always the case. So I hope everyone will take that away from here, and also share with your neighbors, share with your friends. Make sure that they know so that they're not paying. I'll tell you, my neighbor yesterday was like, "Hey, Sabrina, can I get one of your flyers?" And I was like the happiest moment. I rambled a little bit there, but that's because I see another question in the chat.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead, and I can even ask it for you, Sabrina, so that folks can hear it. If we could sneak it in, so we can get Adriana her answer here. If my daughter is 17 years old mid-year and turns 18 years old, do I get to use her as a dependent? Do I get to claim her as a dependent?
So the age depends on a couple of things. It's what their age was at the last day of the year. So December 31st. That's the same rule with anybody who had a baby. So let's say you had a child in December, then you get the credit for the entire year. And remember, we're talking about 2021 at this point. So we're not talking about 2022. So if your daughter on December 31st of 2021 was 17, then she counts for 17 for that whole year. And if she was 18, then she counts for 18 that whole year. That's kind of the arbitrary line that has guided how this gets done. And then whether or not she's a dependent, that's a bigger question. Depending on whether she's a student, depending on, whether she's still in your household. Oh, sure, happy to repeat it, Adriana, which that it's how old she was on December 31st of 2021. So the last day of the year. That's whatever age she was on that day, that is what age she counts for the entire year. And so just sharing, that is also the case for children who were born that year. So if they were, if your baby was born anytime before the 31st, you get to claim them for the full year. I think that's how the IRS thinks they make up for it. And then dependency is a bigger question about whether or not you are still providing for somebody, whether they're still a student, whether they're still receiving potentially healthcare through you. So there's a couple of bigger questions there, whether or not they work and earned a certain amount of dollars. So I'd say in that situation, when you make your appointment for a free tax preparation service, you know, make one for your daughter as well, because it may turn out that she can file taxes and claim her own credits. Every family has to kind of do the math and see what's best for them there.
Great. Thank you so much, Sabrina. And you're such a wealth of knowledge. I'm going to try to sneak in one more question here that we have that came in through the questions and answers. And it's from
Sure.
Erica Phillips, who asks, if you have multiple W-2s and deductions, will I be able to use the program easily?
Yes. Our programs and the VITA sites are geared toward people who are low income. And let's face it, most folks who aren't earning a lot have more than one job because you just can't make ends meet with one job. There's a whole nother issue to address at some other point. But so it's very normal nowadays to have multiple W-2s. And so our folks are going to be experts at working through all of those and helping you put all of those into the system and get the most that you can qualify for.
Great. Thank you so much, Sabrina. We really, really appreciate it. On behalf of Assemblymember Steve Bennett, he really appreciates your expertise as well. Thank you all, folks, for joining us. We are wrapping it up now. We apologize once again for the technical difficulties in the beginning, but we really appreciate your patience as we got through that rocky start and then had just an incredible presentation as well as question and answer portion with Sabrina. So once again, this event is recorded. So it will be posted, I believe, to GSO's website and YouTube channel. And we will also be reposting this and sharing this on our social media as well as the slides so that you all can get this information. Once again, as Sabrina said, this is money for you. You know, this is how to get money that is for you from the government, right? To make your life just a little bit easier, okay? So once again, thank you all so much. And don't forget that survey that's going to be coming your way after this presentation to let us know how we did. And if you liked it, and if you'd like to see more stuff like this, we really appreciate this partnership with GSO. And thank you all once again, and please have a great night.
Thanks, everybody.